for you.
This is Stephen Ray, aka Stingray, coming to you live from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Good afternoon, Mr. Feinbaum. Stingray here, and I'm about to shoot the bull with you like all the Auburn students do down at Auburn.
Worst defense ever!
So without further ado, here is the biggest Alabama going for the field goal. The kick is up. It is away. It is no good. Chris Davis bringing it out of the end zone. Oh, he's got blockers. Chris Davis up the sideline. Here he goes.
Here we go, guys. Dobbs back to pass. Launching the ball. Jennings, he's got it. Jennings, he's got it. Touchdown, Tennessee. They shocked the Dogs in Sanford Stadium. Are you kidding me? My God almighty. What an epic way for the Tennessee-Georgia rivalry to end this game. What a play. Wow.
Welcome inside another edition of the Stingray Show, everybody. I hope everybody's doing quite well. And we wanted to jump on here and do a really quick and awesome interview with a guy whose team is really on fire right now. So first, I'm going to go ahead and bring up my co-host, Heath, and we will get going. Heath, my friend, how's it going today?
Going wonderful, Stephen. How about you on this Monday?
I'm doing good. And, you know, we weren't expected to have a show, but we were able to get a very special guest on our show. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring him in here right now. Ladies and gentlemen, his team is currently 7-0. Ladies and gentlemen, here we have Coach Hugh Freeze. Coach, how's it going today?
It's going great, guys. How about yourself?
We're doing good, Coach. How are things on this Monday morning for you?
It's been a crazy Monday. It hadn't been quite normal. We had our team meeting this morning, and I kind of set the tone for this week and our theme for the week and our lesson for the week that I teach on Mondays. But then after that, it's been interviews constantly until I've got one more after this, and then I'll go in the film room with the offensive guys for the remainder of the day. But we're blessed. It means we're doing something right if people want to talk to you. So
yes,
it brings good notoriety to our university, to our program right now. So we're thankful for that.
Absolutely. And Coach, first off, I want to say congratulations. And what is the hype around town with you guys now being nationally ranked? And, of course, being undefeated right now, and with that big win against Virginia Tech this past weekend.
Yeah, it's funny, Stingray. You know, obviously there's a ton of excitement and the football awareness at Liberty from the first day I got here to today is definitely changed.
Yes.
However, you know, watching your intro to your show, one thing that I'm reminded is it's a shame that our people aren't getting to experience it this magical season firsthand because of COVID. And I could just imagine what that stadium, Lane Stadium at Virginia Tech, I've coached there before, when it's full and it's intense. It's like an SEC type stadium. Right. And I can just imagine how much more amped up, you know, the victory would have been if our people could have been there with us in a full capacity. So absolutely, it's great that our that our awareness is up around town and everything, but it certainly is. You know, you wish they could be more a part of it and enjoy it more, because Virginia has the 1,000-seat maximum for any stadium, and so it's just you hate that they're not getting. Especially our students. Our students, they show up for football games, and it would be awesome if they could be here this Saturday.
Right.
Coach, my first question to you is a true or false question. Some teams are good. Some teams are lucky. Hugh Freeze and the Liberty Flames are both.
I would agree. I mean, we'll take a lucky break anytime we can get one, and certainly hope we don't give too many of those out. But I think we're a pretty good football team that plays 60 minutes. Our kids do not blink. They do not waver. We don't try to concentrate on the scoreboard as much as we do the next play. And obviously, we take breaks when they come our way, and we have actually a motto that we say around here, and that's when a break comes our way, score.
Well, you went 3 for 3 on fourth downs the other day in the game. But my question to you is this: what time early in the game did you think, hey, we got a chance at this, we're going to have a good day, we're going to be in this one all day? Was there a moment or a play or going to the stadium? What was it?
That's a great question, and I've told everybody, and this is I'm just tell you exactly what I thought going into the game. I thought that we could move the ball on them. I thought that if we don't turn it over, we'll score some points, and I also thought that we can't stop them. And so you combine those three things with I think I need to try to shorten the game somehow, which we did. They only had 9 plays of offense in the first quarter. So I was feeling pretty good then. And then we fumbled right before half, and we're going in. We're on the 5-yard line, 1st and goal from the 5. And that was a dagger. That hurt. It kind of felt like the year we fumbled right before half against Alabama, and they picked it up and scored. And I that hurt. But then our defense held them to a field goal right before half. And I'm actually walking off the field at halftime, and my 3 daughters were on the sideline, and they don't ever mind sharing their opinion with me about how things are going, and so I'm walking off, and they all 3 catch my eye, and I don't know. I went over and I said, "Girls, I'm going to tell you something. We're going to win this game." And they just looked at me like, "You lost your mind, Dad?" And I said, "No, I've got that feeling. We're going to win this game."
Coach, that's a great story. What was it earlier in the week when you were looking at film that you saw like, hey, we're going to have success doing this? What did you see preparing for this game that you knew that you were going to have a great chance to be in this one?
Well, we're pretty difficult to defend with our offensive philosophy. I mean, we're, not that somebody can't stone us and keep us from scoring, but obviously if you turn it over, that hurts yourself. But we've got a tremendous athletic quarterback in Malik Willis, and you combine that with our RPO run game. It's just difficult for defenses to stop. And so I obviously you look at O-line, D-line matchups a lot. I thought Virginia Tech was extremely talented at their defensive end positions. I thought their inside play was something that our kids matched up with. Not that they're bad players, but I thought, man, we match up okay there. And I thought we matched up okay blocking their linebackers. So their safeties were a concern. I thought we could win some one-on-ones at corners, particularly with double moves, and we did. And we were able to run inside zone effectively enough to and then give Malik some room to run on the edge when we decided to call some quarterback pulls. So that's what I saw that gave me confidence we could move it. I also saw on the other side that we're going to have problems because they do a lot of things we do. And they have an extremely talented tailback, offensive line, and quarterback. And I knew we probably could not stop them. No one else has either. I mean, they were 4th in the nation, I think, in offense. So it was that kind of matchup that I just said I've got to manage and try to get to the 4th quarter and be within 1 score.
Speaking of Malik, what makes him so special of a quarterback for you guys, and where would you rank him as one of the best players that you've ever coached?
Yeah, that's a great question. What makes him special, I think, is first the quality he has off the field, and that is his humility. And he is just an incredible, incredible teammate. And he also studies, and he wants to be good. It matters to him, and he wants me to criticize him and tell him what he needs to do better. And I do. I'm probably too hard on quarterbacks at times, but I'm also the same guy that after I tell him take care of the dead gum ball, I also tell him you're my guy now. Let's go back out there and do it. And he can handle that. And so he's absolutely a leader that you want. Then. How does he rank? Athletically, he's probably the best I've ever coached. He's, probably not as accurate as Chad Kelly was. His arm strength's good. Chad's was special. So they're very similar in their football IQs. Chad's football IQ is off the charts good. and Malik studies it. Chad's came really naturally. Malik studies his a lot, but he's probably no doubt he's the best athletic quarterback that I've coached.
Coach, I noticed in the second half, your opening possession started at the 5-yard line. And you guys spent most of that drive on the ground. You got a score out of that. But I noticed there was a lot of extracurricular activity, some gamemanship, if you will, with Virginia Tech after the whistle. And of course, it never got ugly. But your guys hung tough all game, and you kept that ball mostly on the ground that first drive of the second half.
Yeah,
what adjustments did you make?
Well, that was a huge drive. I didn't like starting on the 5-yard line, but I will say that, man, I try to prepare our kids for every situation like every coach does. And I want ours to have an edge about them when we do have to start at the 5-yard line and still confident that we can take it 95 yards. And what that does to a defense, it hurts when an offense can do that to you. And so, we just said we remind them our philosophy of how you get out from the 5-yard line, and that's by 1 first down. And we'll worry about the rest after that. And we got that on the first play with a good run by J Mac, and then the drive just really put together. And it even grew our confidence and of knowing, hey, we're going to be in this for the long haul.
Coach, I noticed that going into the fourth quarter, your defense kind of looked a little tired, a little gassed there, but you guys were able to hang on and make plays when you needed them to. Talk about your offensive philosophy heading into that last quarter. As you started the second half down, you had everything fall apart there right before first half, as you already mentioned, and then you had that opening drive. But going into the fourth, what were your thoughts?
We're right where we want to be. They haven't really stopped us, and we haven't really stopped them. We just got to find a way to make a play or two. And, the defense came up with 3 stops on the day, and they were all critical. And obviously it was disappointing to let them drive the field after we went up 35-28 with 1:40 or so left and scored a tie. But they left us a few seconds left for us to get it back in field goal range. So, but going into the fourth quarter, I just really felt like, man, we're right here. We're playing with – look, you guys follow football. I mean, over the last 2 decades, Virginia Tech has been a top 25 program for those 2 decades. I mean, and their roster proves it. Just look at their recruiting classes and all of that. And so for us to be in there competing, with them in the fourth quarter, I think it just grew our confidence, and we just had to find a way to make one more play than they did.
Can you tell us what was going through your mind during the last few minutes of that game when you had the blocked field goal that they called a timeout? What was going through your mind through all of that craziness?
Well, the good thing is I saw him call the timeout and I saw the whistle, so I wasn't in the dark.
Right.
And, our kids, they even heard it because if you'll watch our left side of our line there, they kind of just relax. Yeah. And our kicker even kind of flinches. So, I'm not sure why the officials let the play out, but it was clearly a timeout called. And
right.
So I was thankful that he called the timeout and was anxious to, all right, you quickly go back into coach mode and say, all right, what's next? What's the best thing to do right here?
Coach,
you just showed, I thought, man, I really had that instinct of, man, I think they might be things are a little chaotic right now.
Right.
And they still had their field goal block unit. And so I ran our offense out and tried to convert to 4th and 6 and get our kicker another 6 to 8 yards, which we did. And obviously it was the right call at that time. And man, what a great job by our snapper, Austin Mock, our holder, Aiden Ives, and our kicker, Alex.
Right. And real quick, I've got to ask, that girl right there, is that Reagan, your daughter?
That's actually Jordan there. Because Reagan is busy right now shooting videos, running across the field. But she's going to join us. She joins us right after that. She and Madison both, all 3 of our daughters were on the sideline and joined us. And then my wife, unfortunately, she's had to be in quarantine and couldn't be there. So she was sick that she couldn't, but she was, I'm sure, screaming at the TV.
Coach, I want to back up before the field goal drama and everything. I want to back up with 52 seconds left in the game. You got the ball. You're sending your quarterback, Willis, out there. What are you telling him with 52 seconds in a tie ball game? What did you tell him?
Yeah, the priority is take care of the ball. That, worst case, let's go to overtime. But at the same time, we practice these moments, and let's don't try to eat the elephant all at one time. Let's take what they give us on a couple throws, and then get us. Then if we have success on those two, we become a little more aggressive to try to get it in field goal range. If we don't, they were out of timeouts. We'll just. No, they have one timeout left. I'm sorry, but one we could kill the clock if needed. Man, we complete the first two, and he scrambles for a good gainer, and now you're starting to think, all right, what's the line we need to get to kick it? And our special teams coach had already told me that, and told me kind of where Alex wanted it, and all of that, and so that became the goal at that point.
Coach, going back to the ghost of Beamer ball that popped up there, you kick it, the timeout happened. We already covered that. But then you made that call on that 4th and 6. 3rd down, I would understand that. 4th down, that's a gutsy call, Coach.
Yeah.
Who did you talk to? What went through your mind? I mean, how was that decision made? Did you make it all on your own? Did you talk about it on the sideline?
Let me tell you, when it comes down to those moments, the only thing you hear on headsets is silence, crickets. Nobody wants to make that call but the head guy. The head guy's the only one that can make that, and that's and that wasn't but I was pretty clear with Malik what our options were at that moment. There was 8 seconds left, and our 3 options were, because they had called the timeout, so luckily I had them in front of me, and our 3 options were, hey, we're either going to throw the Hail Mary to the right side, but if they give us the throw to the boundary, we take it. And if you throw the Hail Mary and 8 seconds should run off, throw it high enough, and it takes time for them to run down. And
right.
Worst case, it's 1 second left, and we got to go defend for 1 second maybe. But so I was pretty clear with Malik, and he took the right option there.
I got a good and bad question for you, Coach. I'll ask the good one first. I've got to ask, what prayers and promises did you make before that field goal was kicked to the good Lord before that play happened? What was going through your mind?
I did have a little talk with God on that one. I said, Lord, I think there's some kind of bonus in our contract for beating a ACC opponent. It's all yours, God, every bit of it. So we'll give that to Angel Armies and continue doing our work with the foster care need kids that Jill and I do.
Amen. Coach, I'll ask you this. This is the bad part of the question. Going into halftime, you had that fumble. Virginia Tech gets another score. They get that field goal there. You're going into halftime. Everything kind of went bad right there at the end. What did you tell your team, and how can you make that family friendly and communicate it here on the show?
Yeah, our kids will never see me blink or flinch because something bad happens. I'm not made that way. And I'm not going to give, I will not give in to that. I may feel it sometimes, and it was discouraging to go in, but I won't let them sense that. And, I was actually, it went from being really a bad feeling to, man, we held them to a field goal, which was big. And so I kind of just used that as a positive and showed them what could have been had we taken care of the ball that first half.
Coach, I'm not going to ask you the specifics here, but there's a lot of noise about your name coming up for other head coaching jobs. How do you keep your team grounded and focused on the games rather than what they hear noise-wise out there on social media and the news?
Yeah, I'm very honest with our kids, and I have one of the greatest jobs, I think, up and coming in America right now, and we're at peace here. And man, we're already competing with Power 5 schools in year 2, and I have assured them that I'd already had a couple of phone calls from different places even last year that not that I would have gotten jobs or anything, but I just declined everything that's come my way. and that they would be absolutely the first I talked to if I ever had even an interest in leaving. So I've been just very straight with them, and I'm just so happy here, and so is my wife, so are my kids, and I love these kids and this staff here at Liberty.
Coach, I'm going to give you a chance to brag about your team. Who's the absolute toughest player on your team?
Probably, Jonathan Mack. Jay Mack, our tailback, is, man, you just don't ever see him. He's physical, and he runs hard, and he takes a lot of hits, and not one time has he ever I don't know if he ever has even come out of play because he's been dinged up or anything. But I hate to single just one out. I think we got a tough football team. I think we're mentally tough. I think we're physically tough because, obviously we're not as talented as everyone right now because we've only had, one full, recruiting class. And the rest of the kids were recruited for FCS football. And that's nobody's fault. It's just, they played FCS football until last year. And so I think our whole team is a tough-minded football team.
Talking about Mac real quick, I noticed there that first possession of the second half, he didn't go down on a run. The refs blew the whistle, but there was a little, like I said, some chippiness by some Virginia Tech players. The very next play, he stiff-armed a kid so hard for Virginia Tech. Mac did. I was so impressed by that. And that's why I asked that question of who was the toughest. I was like, he's got a tough team. This Matt kid is really tough. I was so impressed.
I told him at halftime, man, you're a horse we're going to ride in the second half, and he was good.
Coach, I want to ask this: what kid represents your team the most? Who's the heartbeat of this team that the other players rally around, and he's just your go-to leader?
Oh, that's Malik Willis on offense and Javon Scruggs on defense.
Wow. And my last question, Coach, is, Alex Barber, your kicker, will he have a problem getting a date this week on campus?
I don't know. He and I just did an interview on campus, and he's a pretty popular guy right now. And we're lucky we have him. He was just a normal student here for 2 years, and when our kicker decided to transfer over the summer, we had one more here, but you don't like to go with one of anything. And our special teams coach went and found him, in the classroom and got him to come out and play. So we're thankful we have him.
Wow, that's a great story, Coach.
And Coach, one final question from me. Now that you guys have knocked off 2 ACC teams, and especially Virginia Tech at Virginia Tech, what is the ceiling for this team? Do you honestly believe that you guys can finish the season undefeated?
Man, I don't have a clue. I know that my whole focus is to go 1-0 this week.
Yes.
And that's all that we can control is our preparation for this game.
Yes.
I think if we did, it would be one of the most remarkable stories in college football, and maybe I mean it would be pretty remarkable, and we certainly would be blessed and been shown some favor, but that's a tough task to do in year 2 here, but anything's possible, and you better just win this week and see. We got a really tough road trip to NC State for a night game. Not this week, but next. And then obviously playing they're currently undefeated in Coastal Carolina, who's playing really well at their place also. And in between, we've got UMass and Western Carolina. So who knows? And the things we can't control is COVID and injuries. And, we've been blessed thus far that COVID hasn't really it's affected us, but it hadn't altered really our DNA on a given game day, and hopefully that will continue to be the case.
Coach, this will be my last question for you. How did you celebrate Friday and Sunday after this victory? How did you celebrate the rest of the weekend?
Well, it was a bus trip, so we got back about 7:00 that night, and Jill had me. She had wings, Louisiana rub wings that I love from Wingstop. And she couldn't get within 6 feet of me. She's got to stay in quarantine for a week because of our bubble principle. Not that she has it; she's doing good. But someone in her family thought that she may have been around it, and so she's got I think 2 more days of staying in quarantine so that I wouldn't be considered in contact tracing. So she's downstairs, but she can come up. We just can't be within 6 feet of each other for over 15 minutes. So it's she had that, and it was an incredible night. I watched the game on TV, had it TiVo'd, watched some other games that night, did church Sunday morning, and then Jill and I went and played golf after church, and then we started meetings again last night. So that was my day and a half after the game.
All right.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. And we really appreciate it. And go Flames, and good luck to you guys the rest of the way. You got fans right here.
Man, thank you so much for your kindness.
Yes. All right. Have a good day, Coach.
All right, y'all too.
All right.
Thanks, Coach.
Bye-bye.
Well, man, I got to tell you, that was really awesome. So thank Coach once again.
Yeah, and Wingstop gets a free plug there. Good job for you guys. Louisiana up. All right.
Yep. And also, real quick, before we jumped on the show, we had some breaking news that Brandon Marcello actually broke. And it is that Sam Pittman, the coach at Arkansas, tested positive yesterday for COVID. Unfortunately, he tested positive yesterday. He did another test today. And as of right now, at 1:30, the test for today has not come back. But if there are 3 negative tests, then he can coach this weekend against the Florida Gators. So our thoughts and prayers are with the Arkansas Razorbacks and Sam Pittman.
You know, Stephen, I think we should wrap up with this. I think you called Sam Pittman by the wrong name. I think you need to call him SEC Coach of the Year, Sam Pittman.
Yes, that is correct. So once again, we want to thank Hugh Freeze. We want to thank you guys for watching this special edition of the Stingray Show. We will be back here with a full show on Thursday and Friday back to back. We weren't expected to have a show today, but we know whenever you can get Coach Freeze, obviously that is a big-time get. So
for a big-time win, too.
Yes, and so we will be back here at 2 o'clock on Thursday with our regular show, and we hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. And as always, God bless.
See ya.
The Dogs and Stingray are coming for you! This is Stephen Ray, a.k.a. Stingray, coming to you live from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Good afternoon, Mr. Feinbaum. Stingray here, and I'm about to shoot the bull with you like all the Auburn students do down at Auburn. Worst defense ever! So without further ado, here is the biggest. Alabama going for the field goal. The kick is up. It is away. It is no good. Chris Davis bringing it out of the end zone. Oh, he's got blockers. Chris Davis up the sideline. Here he goes. Here we go, guys. Dobbs back to pass. Launching the ball. Jennings, he's got it. Jennings, he's got it. Touchdown, Tennessee! They shocked the Dogs in Sanford Stadium! Are you kidding me? My God Almighty! What an epic way for the Tennessee-Georgia Rivals!